in just moments. But let's talk about a lawsuit with the National Association of Realtors. It's nearing a settlement, and that could have an impact here on our local housing market as that moves forward. So we got our good friend here, Vincent DeRisi with UMortgage, in with us this morning. You've told us about this lawsuit before, but what do we know now as we're getting close to settlement?
So there was actually some news yesterday about the judge signed off that it's going to happen.
Okay.
So yesterday it got signed off by one judge. Now there's going to be another hearing for it to be signed off to be approved. So what it's meaning is there's going to be a little bit more transparency of where commissions are going to be allocated for buyer and seller.
Okay, so what brought the lawsuit initially? Was it some sort of conflict with the MLS system?
So it was more about where fees were being transferred to. So a seller would sign their documents and they saw there was a transfer of funds going towards the buy side, where they were aware that it was only going to be on their side of the fee. So this has really just brought on more transparency to split the fees evenly to make sure that everyone is aware of where these monies are going.
I got you. So it's like the buyer's like looking at this like, wait a minute, what's this big fee right here that came out of my pocket, right?
It was more on the seller side. The seller side was like, well, I was paying you. Why is this fee going to the buyer side?
Gotcha, gotcha. All right, so there have been some predictions on decreases in interest rates by the Federal Reserve, but we haven't seen any big ones so far. How's this impacting our local market?
We have not seen any. We've actually seen the opposite. It's gone increased in the past 2 weeks. However, it has increased applications. So it's opposite.
Okay.
We've seen rates go up, but also applications go up. So it hasn't really affected our market all too well because it's still hot. It's still a seller's market. Inventory is low. We're seeing housing prices go up. We're seeing applications increase from the past 2 weeks by 4% from last year, even though rates are higher than they were last year.
Because people still have to buy homes.
It's people still have to buy homes. And the leading category of people buying homes are still first-time home buyers.
All right, so some of those first-time home buyers who maybe bought their homes last year and maybe thought, okay, I don't love this rate, but I could refinance within maybe a year or so. Here we are a year later. Is that a good time for them now, or should you just hold off?
I would say for the people who purchased last year, it's probably not a good time for them right now. But for some people who maybe have gained a good amount of equity and have accelerated some of their credit card bills, that might be a good time for them to start looking at refinancing. We've had a lot of clients come out to us recently due to interest rates increasing. Those also increase credit card rates. So if you have a credit card, typically you're at 25% rate. Well, if you have a house rate at 6.5%, 7%, and you're paying off some debt with it, do that blended rate, get with a professional, and even though the rates are high, it still might make sense to refinance.
So that refinance your house to pay off high interest debts. What about refinancing to eliminate your mortgage insurance? Don't you want insurance?
Great question. So you have homeowners insurance, and then you also have what's called mortgage insurance, which is an insurance for the bank. God forbid you were to foreclose on your property, this insurance will pay the bank back the money. The reason that you want to remove the mortgage insurance is it's going to save you monthly, because typically it's a monthly expense that could be taken off after you refinance. And how that happens is appreciation. Appreciation right now, all-time high. We just looked at someone in Harrison. Their house last year, this time last year, she purchased, and it's already up by 6%. So 6% free money just from appreciation.
I just got a notice from Campbell County that I know what I paid for my house, and it's about $60,000 more than what I paid for it 5 or 6 years ago. And so now it's like, well, is that really the true number? Or do I need to get, if you've got one of those notices as well, do I need to get an appraiser in just to get my own number, or do I go with what the county's telling me?
The best thing to do is to get with your mortgage professional that you worked with in the past, because they have those similar tools that an appraiser or a real estate agent has. You can also get with your local real estate agent that you worked with as well. They have the MLS access where they can look at the comparables and also give you a really good, accurate number of where your value is on your house.
I'm just curious about that because I looked at the number, I'm like, well, I think it was worth more than this, but I guess
the county is going to be a little bit more conservative than what your actual value is at times, but that could be helpful because your tax bill would be a little bit less.
That would be good. All right, and we can always go to umortgage.com to get more from you, right?
Always, yes.
Vinny DeRisi, great to have you in as always.
Appreciate it.
I know you said it was beautiful coming in. Let's check over with Ethan Embry because it is a pretty day.
Yeah, and if you're going